Hello there and welcome back to OpsKit. As a result, a direct result of numerous requests and questions and so forth about petrol cookers and so on, right, what we've got here is the Coleman dual fuel powerhouse 2 burner. Now, I originally got the 533. If you've seen the review on that, that was my first toe in the water with petrol cookers. And I was so impressed with that, I went for the 2 burner version as well, because obviously I've got a family, right, it's an ideal camp cooker, right, and at the end of the day, right, it is just absolutely mind-blowing just how good these cookers really are. Coleman have been making these petrol cookers, I think about 60 or 70 years, right, and as far as I can see, when you look at some of the really early ones of these, right, the design is pretty much the same as it was then. Right, I suppose they work on the old basis of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right, now, before we go too heavily into the cooker, one of the questions I received from a number of you is that where these will burn unleaded petrol, just like you buy at the petrol station or for America Cousins gas station, right, and put in your cars, it'll also burn Coleman fuel, which is this stuff. Now, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, one of the main questions I got from people was, what is the advantage of paying the extra money for the Coleman fuel over unleaded petrol? Now, when it comes down to it, what I have found is, and this is just through research and asking a few questions, the Coleman fuel is a much more refined fuel for the stove. If you use unleaded petrol, it works fine. Right, I did try it, it does work okay, right, there's no ifs or buts about it. What I'm burning here at the moment, right, it's going to be Coleman fuel because I've bought some of that as well to try it. Right, and the bottom line is that where unleaded petrol isn't as refined, you run the risk of clogging the stove up a bit. Now, that is not a terminal problem, right, by far, right, it's very easily remedied, right, but at the end of the day, that is the advantages stroke disadvantages, whereas with the Coleman fuel, right, you're much less likely to actually encounter that problem. Let's move this bottle out of the way, right, and let's just take a good close look at what we've got here. It's a 2 burn cooker, right? This is the fuel tank. I've left that up there for a reason. Right, we just pop this up on its end so you can see. You've got a 2-ring burner there. Everything about this cooker is built, right? There's no ifs or buts about it. I mean, look at that for a grill. I mean, that, right, is just so well made. It is unreal. Right, when you take into consideration the sort of weights of the pots of food you'll put on there, right, it's wow. It's great. It's all metal. It's well built. It's very easy to clean, so if you get any spills, you can easily get to them and mop them up. Even down to the wind deflectors. I mean, this is obviously supporting the top. These fold up inside, so you've just got one nice neat. The fuel tank goes inside as well. You've got a handle there, so you've just got one nice neat carry case. Okay. Right, now we'll just pop this back up, but when it comes down to the wind deflectors, Coleman have even taken on board the fact that if you want to put big pans on, with these right in, they're going to get in the way, so they've allowed them to splay out if need be. You can push them right the way down, so you've got even better wind protection, right, for your smaller pans, not a problem. Right, so plenty of forethought gone into that. When it comes around to the fuel tank, the reason I didn't hook this on initially was just so that you could see exactly where we are with this. Sorry. This is your filler cap. Right, you get a funnel with this, right, which also acts as a fuel filter. Right, very important that when you're filling these, even with the unleaded, even with the Coleman fuel, use the funnel with the filter in it just to stop any bits of dirt getting in there and clogging up the jets inside it. This is your flame control for your first burner, which is the one on the right, this one over here. This is a lighting lever here, we'll go into that in a minute, and this is your pump. Now, I've already put fuel in this, so I didn't bore you to tears with that. Now on that pump, you'll see that there's a little tiny hole in the end of it. What we're going to do, we're going to unscrew this. Now first we unscrew this 2 complete turns. You notice when you get up to there, you just feel a slight bit of resistance, that's it open. With your thumb over the hole, right, we're going to give this about 25 pumps, okay, so we do that now. Right, and then we'll screw that back in. Okay, this is your generator tube, right, and this is where all the alchemy and the magic happens. Right, and what we do is we insert the generator tube in through this oval hole here, then it goes into the part of the internal workings here, and we've got 2 little slots in the front of the cooker that the tank hooks into. And it's as simple as that. Now that is ready to go. What we're going to do is the normal ½ litre boil test, right, and we'll see how quick it boils up. Right, so what we do is we get this lit. Now to light this little lever here, you lift that up, and then you turn this on, the knob. You hear it hissing. And then I've just lit that with a fire still. Right, nice hot shower of sparks gets it going. Now I don't know whether you can actually see this or not. At the moment we've got an orange flame. What's actually happening is you're burning liquid fuel at the moment. Now the pressure in the tank is pushing the fuel up through this generator tube, and that tube runs through the flame. So that flame is now warming the generator tube and turning liquid fuel into vapour. And what will happen in the next few seconds, that flame will turn blue, and that tells us that we are now ready to cook. I mean, you can put things on there now, but I'm just leaving it like that so you can see it. And after a minute of it burning, this lighting lever here, we push so it's pointing down, okay? Right, and while that's just doing its bit there, I've got a pan here. It's got ½ litre of just normal tap water in there. Right, we'll put the lid on. Right, and we will run a stopwatch on this and just see how long it takes for it to boil it up. Okay, but we'll just wait for that to sort itself out. Now the great thing about this with the pumped pressure, as you're using it, the fuel drops, the pressure drops. If you notice that the flame starts to flicker and starts messing about, you can pump it back up. There's nothing to stop you increasing the pressure on it as it goes. You might find that if you're cooking something that's taken a little while to cook, you may need to do that several times while you're cooking. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Everything's perfectly okay, it's all perfectly safe and tickety-boo. Right, so it's just starting to settle down a bit now. It's starting to, unfortunately you can't see right down inside here. I don't really want to hang the camera over it because it's just quite warm standing here. Right, but what we'll do is we will move the pot over. Right, and then we'll start the stopwatch. Okay, so that's all running now. Now while we're waiting for that to do its job, we'll have a quick run through the features of the stove. Now, you've got 2 burners here, right, and things to remember is this burner, being first in line from the fuel tank, will actually burn hotter than this one, okay? To put that into figures, right, this burner runs at 9,000 BTUs, whereas this burner runs at 8,000 BTUs. Now, in reality, there's not a huge amount of difference, right? For those of you that understand the more technical side of things, you've got the figures. The fuel tank on this holds 1.7 litres of fuel. Right, now that will give you on high, so with both burners going full bore, 2.3 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes, right, of burn time. Now that is a lot. Okay, let's just turn that down. That's better. Sorry, I forgot that. It's me chatting. Doesn't affect it. Just burns more fuel. You can, right, with these side supports open, get 2 10-inch pans on here. So it's really not a mamby-pamby stove at all. Right, you look at this as a proper camp cooker. Right, I can't stress that enough. Right, it's one of those things that I think that people tend not to take into consideration when they're actually looking for camp cookers. They unfortunately they just don't look at the hard facts behind what they're actually buying. Right, so when they come down to actually getting any type of camp cooker, they sometimes find that perhaps it's not performing as well as they'd like it to. Right, I've got several camp cookers, I mean several ring burners. This outperforms all of them. Right, I'm very, very sold. I said it on the last video, I'll say it on this one, I'm very, very sold on these petrol cookers, right, in a massive, massive way. If you want to light the second ring, well, I'm not going to do it, right, but if you want to, as soon as you've got this one running, you can get that one running. Right, and on the side here, which unfortunately you can't see, there's a big butterfly tap there. You just turn that, light it the way we lit that one. Okay, so no problems at all. 5-year warranty on this. Now, I mean, I'll be honest with you, short of running it over with my car, I can't see how you could really damage this or injure it in any way. Right, you're going to have to take to it with a hammer. Right, it's so well built, everything packs away inside perfectly, you know, it's really, really quite something else. The actual size of it, 21 3/4 inches wide, 13.5 inches front to back, 6 inches deep. So you're not talking anything that's massive, right? Not massive in size, but this is massive in performance. Right, very, very impressed. Right, we'll just take a look at the... Oh, we're getting small bubbles. Right, let's just see where we are with this. I hate this phone. 3 minutes 37 seconds. Right, we're on small bubbles. Right, so we'll just wait and see what happens. Right, one other little pointer with these. Right, and I said it on the other one, I'll say it with this. It's just general common sense safety. Sorry. If while you're cooking this runs out of fuel, I could not stress this enough. I will not fill this when it's hot. Now, even if you remove the tank, right, if it's gone out, the cooker's still hot. If you remove the tank and move it away from the cooker, you've still got the generator tube attached to it, and that is still going to be hot. So I would let that go stone cold before I put any further fuel in there. Bearing in mind the length of time that this will burn, right, I would thoroughly recommend that you fill it before you're going to use it. Okay, it's I'm just going to give this a little bit more of a pump up because it wasn't full. There you can see straight away the way that flame has changed. Right, that's gone from the orange to... Well, let's just see if we can get you in here for a better view. I'm really hoping I'm not going to mess this up. Right, I don't know if you can see right in there or not. Right, but that's gone to a proper blue flame now. Now that was my fault, so... We're a little bit out on our timing, and I'm sure that is going to really spring into boil time very, very quickly now. Yeah, that's made a big difference. While we're on the subject of just generally chatting, if you're new to OpsKit channel, please subscribe to it. There's a lot more videos that are coming up in the near future. Top quality products. You'll never catch me reviewing junk. Won't do it. Right. Only review stuff that I've used, that I will use myself. right, and that I would recommend to other people. Right, so if you're new, please hit the subscribe button. Right, then you'll get the email updates on the new videos that are coming out. Feel free to ask questions. Right, no matter how hard you try in any review, you cannot cover every eventuality and every question, every aspect of any product. Right, feel free to ask. If I don't know, I will. There we go, there's a lovely rolling boil there. Right, right, that's showing 6 minutes 10 seconds. Right, but like I say, with the we'll just turn that off now. Bearing in mind I got too busy waffling, I should have pumped that up. Right, that would have been significantly less. Right, like I say, when it comes down to it, please feel free to ask questions, right, on any of the videos that I do. Right, like I say, I can't, for the life of me, remember the last time I covered everything and there wasn't any questions. Right, there will be questions. Right, I don't mind finding the answers. Right, one final point. Right, with any cooker, I never transport any cooker under pressure. But it's just me. Right, I'm sure they'll be okay. You could transport them with fuel in them, as long as you make sure that you've got the caps done up and the knobs turned off. But I don't transport them under pressure. Right, so when this is cooled right down, and I mean stone cold, right, I'll make sure that the fuel tank is held upright, and I just release the fuel cap just a little bit. You'll hear it hiss, the hissing will stop, and then do it back up. That's it. Remember one thing though, if you're going to do that, make sure that you're near no naked lights, and that includes cigarettes if you're a smoker, right, when you're releasing that pressure, because that is fuel vapour that's going to come out of there. Right, so don't want to see anybody writing to me with singed eyebrows saying I forgot. Right, so any questions, please feel free to drop me a line. In the meantime, thanks for watching OpsKit, and please hit that subscribe button. Bye bye.